Along with Palantir permabull Keith Fitz-Gerald, who once again is right on Palantir. But let's get started with the macro picture. Jason, is the market reacting? I don't think so to the January jobs report. I mean, the miss in job creation looks kind of trivial, and unemployment rate that dipped, which shows a robust labor picture. So is it the tariff headlines or something else?
It's a culmination of all the above. Clearly, we have a healthy job market. The UMich sentiment numbers were the fifth highest over, 15 years? And by a full percentage point.
You mean the inflation expectations?
The expectation,
yes.
A full percentage point over the previous reading. So what do if you're the Fed with that information? You sit on your hands. So Trump and company, Bessett and company, they have their hands full because they're now trying to address the interest rate complex by pushing the 10-year down. They no longer could jawbone the Fed into doing it in terms of short-term rates.
Well, look at the 10-year yield at the moment. If we can punch that up, we do have it now at 4.48% this morning. It was around there, so we don't see a huge movement, but yesterday it had closed at 4.3%. So I just look at treasuries and I think, well, maybe on the long end, it's not showing too many cracks here. But what are you telling your investor clients about all of these headlines that are coming through minute by minute?
I'm telling them that leopards don't lose their spots. Trump is doing Trump. I'm surprised, frankly, that people are surprised that we're seeing these tariffs. And I think you're going to continue to see this tactic. I think you're going to continue to see small wins from Trump. And as a result of it, I don't think they're going to be nearly as draconian and long-lasting as investors are wringing their hands over.
Keith, can I get your macro picture at the moment? And then we can delve into your favorite movie of all time, Palantir. But I mean, you're looking right now, and by the way, we've got breaking headlines from this Trump news conference with the Prime Minister of Japan regarding exporting liquid natural gas in much bigger tranches to Japan. President Trump feels that could really help our deficit and our debt situation. But that said, give me your sense of the overall picture for investors at the moment, because the Dow doesn't like this.
Well, the Dow doesn't like it, but Jason makes a very, very sharp point, and I agree with it 100%. Leopards don't change their spots. You want to remember why these are coming in. These are the most telegraphed tariffs in history. They are clearly a negotiating tactic intended to bring other countries to the table. Now, I suspect, and my view is that this stuff's going to blow over very quickly, which is why, rather than cowering in fear, you want to look on days like today for companies that can get through it and will come roaring out on the other side.
Okay, is that Palantir? I mean, right now, this is a locomotive. It's a steam train. It's an airplane. It's flying at the moment. It's hitting another record high today. At least it was earlier. It's been an incredible week to date. Right now, sure, it's up about 2%, but flip it over to the week to date picture. I mean, we're seeing a 37% jump in the wake of earnings. I just worry, and even, year to date, again, that's an even prettier picture for any shareholder, especially you who bought in. I think your cost basis was around $6 back in the day, but it's got a forward PE of 212. Will what it gets from the government contracts be enough to cover that?
Well, here's the thing, right? So my argument is that things like PE ratio and cost of sales and all sorts of other ratios are badly influenced by accounting regs, which do not accurately reflect the return to scale on digital spending. So, two questions. Can Palantir continue? Yes, absolutely. At what valuation? I don't know. Am I worried about it? No. And I'll tell you, because all of those things are already built into where the world is going, not where the world has been. So when you look at a company like Palantir, Liz, the question is not how far can it fall or how high it's run. The question is, where does this go next? I think Wall Street's been on the wrong side of the equation. They're itching for a fight. They want it to pull back. And if it does, you know what? I hope I'm smart enough to buy more.
Well, Jason is smart enough to say, you know what, let's look at sort of the extended areas where you can get an AI push. And you say that's healthcare. Healthcare plus AI equals what, Jason?
It means higher returns. You have large untapped markets in obesity and Alzheimer's. And so you think about what sector last year performed the worst. Healthcare. You think about what multiple healthcare has relative to its history, nearly the lowest. And yet, what sector in the S&P is slated to grow double digits? Nearly 20% this year in earnings. Healthcare.
20%.
Exactly. So you look at the performance of healthcare year to date up 4 some odd percent, whereas technology is down 2 some odd percent.
Are you talking biotechs?
I'm talking the large complex, large pharma in particular, but notwithstanding, I would still continue to look at biotech too.
Biotech as well. Gentlemen, so much breaking news. Thank you so much for being here on this Friday. Again, looks like the markets will be down on the week because of certainly today, because when we came into the session this morning, the markets look to be up for the week. Not going to happen, at least if we close right here. We've got about 51 minutes left to trade, though, so a lot ahead.